Hello, this is second video made for Ouroboros, and we're going to talk about the symbol Ouroboros. It is the Greek symbol. It's Egyptian symbol. It's used kind of across different cultures in China and Veda Hindu. They use it. Earliest found, I think, was Egypt, and it's typically portrayed with a snake eating its own tail, which the meaning in Greek, where the name and the word comes from, is literally means Ouroboros. Boris is aura, which would be tail, and Boris is eating, so tail eating. And the symbol usually represents like a unity of opposites or cycle of beginning and end. That's with the end of the tail and the beginning of the head. Egyptians, I believe, used it to represent the unity between two of their gods, which would be Osiris and Ra. But I like the way it sounds, Ouroboros, so we use it. Anyways, we have another book of interest to share. Sharing not as a scholar or professor, just as a dude, fellow dude exploring the world, our strange and wonderful world. And today I'd like to talk about the Tao Te Ching, and it's pronounced the Tao or Tao. Lao Tzu is the proposed author, and it was said that Lao Tzu was a guy that was of some nobility, but sounds like he was mythically like an accountant of some sort, or some kind of assessor. But even with the professionals, there's no real historic that this is might be a fictional dude, but the writings are real. And the Tao is translated from Sanskrit. It's a very quick little read of, it's about that thick, big print. It's 80 something principles, real quick little boom, boom, boom. This translation's a little more, got this on the Amazon. It's a little more poetically translated than I've heard it done on the radio, or rather like a YouTube. I do enjoy listening to it. It's a little redundant, kind of puts you to sleep sometimes. This is a little more poetic and a little more thought requiring than some of the translations that are real cut and dry. And kind of like Ouroboros symbol, it represents a lot of opposites, the message. Let me see if they have a little introduction I can read here in this book. Translated The Way of Integrity. Yes, this book's also often referred to as the Book of the Way, because it isn't really religious. It's just it's kind of just a philosophy of how to live. And let me read this to you. They probably put it better. Translated roughly as The Way of Integrity, the Tao Te Ching contains political advice for rulers, lessons on leading a balanced life, guidance on self-knowledge, peace, humility, virtue, morality, and common wisdom. Divided in two parts, 81 chapters, it gives insight into the concept of Tao. Written more than 2,000 years ago, this treatise is one of the most translated works of world literature and considered the most significant Taoist text. I think this is pretty much, I haven't heard of any other Taoist text. I mean, the Tao of Pooh, Tao of Piglet, these are, modern day adaptations of this book or these writings. And as it says, the translations vary. It's coming from Sanskrit, a very hard and ancient language to learn, which is one of the wonderful things about our modern time, is that we get access to a lot of things that it took a lot of people a long time to figure out, and now we can just dial it up and explore it to whatever our interest takes us. So I'll sum it up. I don't want to make it too long. What I get out of this, and I think it'll vary, but I get like a lot of really refer to a lot of opposites, a lot of going with the flow, which agrees with my Pisces nature. Go with the flow. Also, the principle of Wu Wei is mentioned here. If you've ever heard that, and if you martial arts, or Wu Wei is the principle of action with no action. In my mind, that's kind of like a athlete after 10,000 hours of practice. He can just do his thing. He takes action without having the pre-thought of action, or like a great archer would release the bow when it's on target before his mind tells him to release the bow. That's what I get out of Wu Wei. That is a cool principle. And that comes straight from the Tao. And there's a lot of opposites. It can be redundant when you're listening to it. Sometimes I just will put it on a couple times a year if I'm doing chores, and it leaves me with kind of a peaceful feeling. It's not something you would listen to get fired up for big motivation of some sort. It's not it's not your average Tim Robbins, go run out there and get them. It's kind of like to achieve things without trying or whatever. It's a lot of, and what I'm saying is all impressionistic. I'm like, they'll have principles of, if you want to be full, you must first become empty, and it's a good book to explore. Good writings and a couple different ways to do it. Listen to it. Buy the book. This one's, like I said, translated a little bit more poetic. Takes a little more analyzing, stuff like that. And cool. I think that covers this book review and our symbol review. I'd like to present some other areas of interest in the future about symbolism and all sorts of stuff. Thanks. Bye.